Brace yourselves, because what I'm about to reveal is not just another market update. This is the kind of information the mainstream media refuses to touch, the kind of insider-level intelligence that could completely redefine your portfolio overnight. Forget everything you thought you knew about Ripple, forget the FUD, because what's coming is monumental, unprecedented, and frankly, shocking. Imagine a scenario where institutions like BlackRock, JP Morgan, and even whispers from the IMF are quietly positioning around XRP, setting the stage for moves so massive that retail investors are still completely in the dark. Yes, you heard me. While the media is distracting the masses with fear and doubt, the real game is happening behind closed doors, and it's about to explode into public consciousness. Prepare for shock, because the signals we're seeing right now are screaming one thing. XRP is not just moving, it's about to leap, and if you're on the sidelines, you will be left asking WTF just happened. This isn't speculation. It's patterns, contracts, and insider whispers converging into an unstoppable force. And here's the first critical step. If you want to capitalize on this, you need to act intelligently. You need to be ready to move faster than the average investor, because hesitation could cost you more than you realize. Don't wait until mainstream financial media spins it. They will never tell you the truth until the rocket is already in the air. So hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay glued, because what we're about to uncover will make every previous XRP rally look like child's play. Right now, regulatory movements are aligning, and Ripple's partnerships are quietly scaling in ways the SEC never intended the public to see. Michael Saylor has hinted at institutional shifts, and even executives from BlackRock have dropped subtle indicators that XRP is entering a phase where liquidity and adoption collide violently, creating an explosive setup. Ask yourself this: can any other crypto boast the combination of regulatory validation, deep institutional interest, and real-world utility that Ripple is quietly consolidating? The answer is a resounding no, and those who understand this are already positioning quietly, silently, profitably. Today, you're getting access to the unfiltered, no BS reality. The moves happening right now are not random. They are part of a broader orchestration that could redefine digital finance as we know it. This changes everything, and by the end of this video, you will know why the next XRP surge could dwarf every single bull run you've witnessed before, and why even the most skeptical analysts are already revising their expectations in whispers behind closed doors. Let's dive deeper, because this is where it gets seriously mind-blowing. The data is screaming in favor of XRP, and if you're not paying attention, you're missing the single most critical setup in crypto right now. First, let's talk numbers. Liquidity across major exchanges is shifting in ways that suggest massive accumulation by institutions. Whale wallets are not just holding, they're consolidating positions quietly, far beyond what CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko reports in real time. We're talking billions in potential capital quietly positioning, and you can bet BlackRock and Fidelity are not doing this without a strategy that involves a market-moving event. Look at the flows. XRP's on-chain activity shows a pattern identical to the pre-surge stages of Ethereum in 2017, but on a regulatory-compliant backbone that the SEC and major financial regulators can't ignore. And speaking of the SEC, don't be fooled by the drawn-out court cases. Ripple is playing chess while the regulators are playing checkers. The recent filings, the subtle shifts in the legal landscape, and statements from Ripple's executives signal a likely win scenario, and that alone would trigger institutional confidence like we've never seen before. Layer on top of this RippleNet expansion. More banks, more cross-border payment corridors, more real-world adoption. JP Morgan, Santander, and even small but strategically important financial entities are now testing flows that only XRP can handle efficiently at scale. And here's the kicker. IMF reports hint at central bank digital currency frameworks that indirectly favor Ripple's technology stack. Ask yourself, when major global financial institutions, regulators, and private investors start aligning, quietly, invisibly, what does that mean for the price when the market finally catches on? It means a tsunami of momentum is coming, and those not prepared will be caught flat-footed. These aren't vague predictions. This is observable data. institutional positioning and regulatory nuance converging into one massive signal. Every microtrend in trading volume, every unusual spike in whale activity, every partnership quietly announced. It all points in one direction. XRP is about to enter a phase where adoption, legitimacy, and liquidity collide violently. Are you ready to see exactly how the catalyst is set to trigger the next surge? Because once we reveal that, everything changes. Now we get to the heart of it, the catalyst that could ignite XRP like nothing we've seen before, and why every bit of FUD you've ever heard is about to implode in your face. Prepare yourself. This is where the insiders, the whales, and the institutions are playing a game the average investor can barely even comprehend. First, consider the SEC. For months, mainstream media has been pushing fear narratives about regulatory crackdowns, yet every new filing, every public statement from Ripple, every court precedent quietly builds a foundation for legitimacy that is extremely bullish. Ripple isn't just surviving the legal storm, they're setting up a legal framework that positions XRP as the go-to bridge asset for real-world finance. This isn't hype, this is strategic genius. Next, the partnerships. RippleNet's expansion into new corridors in Asia, Europe, and Latin America is no coincidence. Banks like Santander and SBI Holdings are quietly ramping up cross-border settlements, and these are multi-billion-dollar flows that only XRP can efficiently manage right now. The network effects here are exponential. As adoption grows, liquidity improves, transaction velocity spikes, and suddenly XRP isn't just a crypto asset, it's a critical infrastructure layer for global finance. Now, let's tackle the FOD directly. Some analysts scream, SEC risk, regulatory uncertainty, market volatility. But here's the truth. XRP has already structurally mitigated these risks. The legal signals suggest regulatory alignment is imminent. Institutional adoption is quietly skyrocketing, and any temporary price dips are nothing more than accumulation opportunities for whales who already know the endgame. Meanwhile, rumors about competition from CBDCs, Ethereum, or Bitcoin maximalists? Irrelevant. XRP's technology is purpose-built for high-speed, high-volume cross-border transactions, a use case that literally no other asset is positioned to dominate. And the timing is insane. BlackRock, Fidelity, and other mega investors are increasingly signaling interest in XRP as a strategic allocation for digital assets, creating an unprecedented pre-positioning that primes the market for explosive moves once public perception catches up. The bottom line? The catalyst is already in motion. The legal alignment, institutional accumulation, network expansion, and subtle regulatory shifts are converging into a perfect storm that could launch XRP beyond anything most traders are even dreaming about right now. And if you're still worried about short-term dips or noise in the news cycle, forget it. This is bigger than volatility. This is structural change, game theoretic positioning, and a multi-billion-dollar opportunity quietly unfolding. Here's where it gets truly explosive. The price justification that most analysts refuse to acknowledge, and the final warning you need to hear before the market wakes up. Look at XRP's fundamentals. Every metric from adoption to on-chain velocity screams undervaluation. RippleNet's transaction volume is scaling exponentially, and each new partnership adds not just transactional throughput, but institutional legitimacy. Imagine billions of dollars in cross-border flows suddenly favoring XRP over traditional rails. This is not a distant possibility. It is a highly probable scenario backed by observable data. Now, factor in institutional positioning. BlackRock, Fidelity, and even subtle moves from Goldman Sachs indicate a quiet accumulation of XRP at levels that could support a 5x to 10x price surge once retail sentiment aligns. Yes, that's right. Conservative estimates based on liquidity, adoption, and regulatory clarity suggest XRP could easily redefine its price ceiling in the coming months. But here's the final critical warning. If you hesitate, if you wait for confirmation from mainstream media or Reddit chatter, you will miss the first, most explosive phase of this move. The window to act isn't months away. It's potentially days, maybe even hours, depending on when institutional triggers hit. And don't underestimate the market psychology. Once FOMO enters the public narrative, the velocity of buying could become literally unstoppable. creating liquidity vacuums that amplify every surge. So ask yourself, are you going to watch from the sidelines while the early movers capitalize, or are you going to position yourself now with the knowledge that XRP is structurally, fundamentally, and strategically poised for a massive breakout? This isn't speculation. It's analysis, it's observation, it's insight that only a handful of people are paying attention to right now. The convergence of legal wins, institutional accumulation, global adoption, and network expansion is not something you see every day. It's historic, and XRP is sitting at the epicenter. The final message is clear. The next move isn't coming. It's already set in motion. Miss it at your own risk. Here's the conclusion, and this is where everything comes together. XRP holders, what we've uncovered isn't theory. It's the blueprint of a monumental shift in digital finance, quietly unfolding while the mainstream obsesses over noise and fear. You've seen the data, the institutional positioning, the legal signals, and the adoption trajectory. It all points in one direction: explosive growth, unprecedented liquidity, and a market awakening that will leave latecomers scrambling. This is your privileged insight, your early access to the patterns, the catalysts, and the structural forces that are invisible to 99% of traders right now. The choice is simple: act with awareness and strategy, or watch others reap the rewards while you wait for confirmation from sources that are always late to the party. XRP isn't just another crypto. It's the backbone of a global financial evolution, and those who understand the magnitude of what's happening now will be the ones who benefit the most. Remember, hesitation costs more than money. It costs opportunity. Stay alert, stay informed, and stay ready, because the next chapter in XRP's story is about to be written in real time, and it's going to be explosive. This is your moment to witness, understand, and capitalize. Don't let it slip through your fingers. The mainstream won't tell you. The insiders won't advertise it. But now you know the truth, and that knowledge is power.